Hi, my name's Kat Orlando, and I'm here hosting Chopz All Music, coming to you from Bloomfield Community TV Studios. Once again, I must say the people that have joined me over the last year come from many areas of the music scene in Detroit and many genres. My guest today not only pays homage to the crooners of the past, but reinvents the sound. He's been compared to Harry Connick Jr., but he is Ben Sharkey. Well, hey, thanks for joining. And we never met, but I see you appearing around town, so thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah.
This is a nice little, well, nice to meet you in person finally, and learn about you as well and your music. And I don't really get the chance to hang out with other musicians outside of my band, so it's been nice.
Because you're a busy guy, right?
Yes,
Okay.
very busy.
That's a good thing. So I have to ask, since you reside in that style of jazz and blues and maybe in the Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, and earlier generation of music, it makes it unique compared to a lot of the pop and cover bands, for instance, around town. So what drew you to adopt that style for your own? What drew you to that?
It was kind of like a perfect storm of a few different things. My grandmother's influence of the musicals when I was growing up, even though she forced us to watch them, and I didn't really like them at the time.
Oh, okay.
But that was kind of like a seed that she planted. And then my aunt was an art director in Chicago, and she used to take us to these nice restaurants that would have jazz bands playing, and she would take us up to Mackinac Island, and we'd stay at the Grand Hotel, and they'd have nice jazz bands playing there. And in the back of my mind, I thought it was really cool and such a vibe, but even then, it didn't really click. And then in high school, I was really into R&B and pop, and Michael Jackson was like, I was a big fan of Michael Jackson, some of the boy bands and that kind of stuff. And so I did want to be a singer and a performer, but I wasn't a tenor like, Michael Jackson. I couldn't sing as high as him. And so it's actually kind of funny because I thought that I couldn't sing as well as them because I didn't have a higher range.
Oh, you're thinking you had to be in that range.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know anything about range or anything like that.
Right.
So then I moved out of my mom's house early my senior year of high school. I was a little bit of a renegade, and so I had some roommates, and I went to school at Ann Arbor Pioneer. And my roommates were older, and they liked more sophisticated things, so like just a couple years older. They're like early 20s. Okay. And there was a Harry Connick Jr. Senior CD that I found. Yeah. And the album cover looked really cool. It had like just him just being a pensive thought. It was red light, blue light. I don't know if you're familiar with that album cover, but he's just in a t-shirt, and I'm like, what is this? So I put it in, and instantly I was just like captivated.
Yeah.
And
he's amazing.
And as a singer, you know that like sometimes you sing along with things even when you're right out of the gate, even if you don't know the song.
Sure.
And so I was singing along with his voice, and I could match every single one of his notes.
So you were right in his range.
Yeah, I was right in his range, and I'm like, am I a jazz singer?
Oh, okay.
And so I just became kind of obsessed with his catalog, with his arrangements, and everything. And I didn't really know much about the American Songbook at that point, and I realized through him that he was doing some covers of songs from the American Songbook, and so then from there I dove in, to Sinatra and Bobby Darin and Mel Torme and all the greats, Sammy Davis Jr., the Rat Pack, Nat King Cole. So that's really like got me into that whole catalog of music.
Oh, okay. And he's heavy into New Orleans, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
But so. You mentioned your grandmother, so that she was the person, or were there other people that maybe were sort of instrumental in?
Yeah, it was kind of a mix, of different influences from here and there. But she definitely was really big into the musicals and the sound of music, and and all the singing. And I just remember her just being so fascinated with the vocalists that were there. And I remember even then, like I was kind of humming along with some of this stuff, even though I was trying to be stubborn and not. I didn't want her to know that I was actually enjoying it.
Okay.
You know.
See, that's another thing about the generational thing. I want to talk about that. We'll talk about that in a minute too. But so you also, excuse me, you also write your own music.
Yeah.
And anything that you've written or released that you want to share as far as maybe what you tend to write about, lyrically.
Yeah. So I have 2 albums out.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually funny that we brought up my grandma because there's a song on my second album called Swing Don't Cost a Thing.
Oh.
And it's like this nod to like the Roaring 20s kind of era and some of the musicals styling that was there. And it's all about having swagger and because of the swing and like the music and that kind of stuff. And so that was like a dedication to my grandma Sharkey.
Oh.
So I do have those albums out, and they're on all streaming services that you can find. And I am working on another album.
Oh,
now.
you are?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the topics, a lot of love songs, but also there's things, experiences. I think this next album is a little bit more retrospective and self-reflective, and I think that the working title right now is Time Traveler.
All right.
This is going to be an interesting thing. So since 2020, I've been kind of like on this little bit of a spiritual journey.
Oh,
and I had a past life reading.
Oh.
Which was very interesting. There's some, whether you believe in it or not, but it's, it could be just for entertainment or whatever.
Yeah.
But the past life reading, I was a vaudeville performer in my past.
Well, then there you go.
My past life.
That answers a lot, right?
Yeah, I know, right? And it's interesting because this person who I was, in my past life, that had some very religious parents, and he escaped, or not escaped, he ran away from, I think it was some town in Minnesota to New York, and at a young age, like seeking fame and that kind of stuff. And it's
this
interesting.
person that you were.
Yes.
Oh.
And it's interesting because my mom is very religious, and I moved out at a very young age from my house, and I was heading to New York when I was as soon as I graduated high school.
Yeah.
New York didn't work out for me, so I came back home and I started going to school. I went to art school and everything. But so this time travelers thing, it kind of picks up on my draw to the early 20s, the vaudeville, that kind of stuff, that kind of entertainment, the jazz. And then what I have been doing in my shows a lot is I'll do a fair amount of jazz, but then I also do Motown, and I do disco, and I do pop, and that kind of stuff. And so it covers a whole span, like more than a century of music.
Absolutely.
Is in my catalog. So this album that I'm working on, what I'm putting together is like, I have a couple vaudeville style songs, and then I have some blues, and then I have some island and some Latin music, and then I
that's
got
a real cross section.
a Motown kind of sound,
and
some disco and some like alternative pop in there too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting album
So,
when it comes together.
So back up a little bit. So did you go to psychic for that reading? The
I did.
Previous lives reading?
Yeah.
Wow. I might have to make a trip over to one of those.
I know. It's some interesting stuff.
All I know is I have a great aunt or uncle that was an opera singer. But other than that, I know nothing. But that's interesting stuff. Really. Yeah. Isn't that cool when you come across stuff like that?
It is cool, whether you believe it or not. I mean, but I thought the parallel was very interesting without this person knowing anything about me.
See, right. Yeah, if they had nothing to go on, So I guess the next question would be, so you mentioned that you were a little bit of a rebel, and so you try not to show that you were your grandmother, for instance, that you were interested in that music, but you started being drawn to those artists. Another one is like Michael Bublé is another one that goes to that sort of genre. What do you think that you bring to that genre of music? I mean, artistically or anything in your own style, you know?
I like to, you know, those songs have been done so many times.
Yeah.
You know, and I find that I don't necessarily do just the straight cover of those tunes, and you know, the straight jazz cover. We like to mix things up, you know, like like we have done. My band they're just amazing musicians, and so we'll do a song one way one night, and then the next night we'll experiment and do it in a different way. Like Is You Ain't My Baby. We'll do we'll do it a blues kind of vibe, or we'll do a disco kind of vibe on it. And so we like to experiment, and a lot of times we just do it on the cuff, you know, and we've never played it that way before, and so it's a lot of fun for us, and it's also a lot of fun for the audience.
And people pick up on that you're having fun.
Yeah, they do.
I did hear some Latin and little New Orleans thing in there too. So, and that's where that Harry Connick thing. He's like, he's from there, and boy, I would always love to see him live because he really digs deep into that the Cajun funk and all that, and so. Let's do a little shout out to your band, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who are your players in your band? I know some of them.
So my musicians are we got Chris Kodish on keys.
Right.
And he's kind of like well known in Detroit about the Brothers Groove.
That's right.
And I have Brett Lucas on guitar. He's an amazing blues guitarist. He plays with Thornetta Davis sometimes too.
Yeah.
James Simonson is just like one of the best bassists in town. Rick Beeman, such a talented, multi-talented musician, drummer, singer, everything. So that's the core rhythm section.
Right.
And then I play with the Woodward horns a lot.
That's right, they're called the Woodward.
Yeah, the Woodward horns. Yeah. Jimmy Smith, trumpet, James Hughes on sax, Bobby String on sax, and Matt Martinez on trombone.
Yeah, 3 of those guys were on 2 of my CDs. So, I know.
Top-notch players.
They are, absolutely. Back to the New Orleans style, though. Did you have any exposure to that style of music, or?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I've traveled to New Orleans a couple times, but that song that you heard, the "Don't Get Around Much Anymore."
Okay.
It is originally just a straight standard, you know, from the American Songbook.
Right.
But it's one of the songs that I heard on one of Harry Connick Jr.'s albums, and he does it slow, but I put the New Orleans twist on it as a nod to Harry Connick Jr.
Right. That's cool stuff. Way overdue to go back to New Orleans myself, but so let's switch it up a little bit, because I've been snooping around on your Facebook page, and you are a CCS former student, and so am I.
Oh, okay. What did you study?
Graphic design.
Okay.
And what department were you in?
I was in animation, digital animation, multimedia.
Ah, so you were on the 2nd floor over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe around the same time, because I was 07.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I graduated in 07.
Oh, you did?
2007,
07. There you go.
Wow.
And do you still do that, or do you mix it in with your music at all? Or?
So I'm also an artist.
You are?
A painter. And
so that's right.
When I tried to go to New York, it didn't work out because I went with the wrong person. And so I went to CCS to get a degree in art, and that was my backup plan. Usually people don't have art as the backup plan, but it was my...
Well, here I am. Okay, we're one of two people. Okay,
Right.
Yeah, that was my backup plan.
Right. So my draw to it was I wanted to be a Pixar kind of animation
Right.
artist. I wanted to do some storytelling with it.
That was the place to be too.
Yeah, but I didn't end up going to California because that's where
Okay.
all that is.
Yeah.
And so I stayed in Detroit, and Detroit is cars, so I ended up doing a lot of car stuff.
Oh, sure.
For
Right.
the big three and that kind of
Right.
stuff. Until a few years ago, I finally took the leap of faith and just pursued my passions, and I'm a full-time artist. I paint and sell my art.
Nice.
And also do the music full-time too. So
Good for you.
yeah,
That's great. That's
I know.
great.
I'm very lucky.
Yeah, but I do find that music and art is, for a lot of people, is a natural thing. You know,
Yeah.
two things that go together.
Well, we're creators.
Right. Right.
It's creativity.
Yeah, audio and visual. You know, it works, really works a lot together. Do you do you have a favorite place to perform around town, and where would that be?
Yeah, there are several amazing venues in Detroit. I think Cliff Bell's is a staple.
Yeah.
I really love the vibe in there.
Cool place.
It's got so much history. It really helps you with the fantasy of going back in time. You know?
Oh yeah.
You know, because the art on the murals on the wall
Art
and
Deco,
the coved ceilings
Yeah.
and everything is just a really cool spot.
You play there pretty often too, don't you?
Usually like once a season.
Oh, okay.
You know, once or twice a year.
Yeah.
I do. I'm there this coming March.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be there. That's one of my favorite spots. On the bigger side, I really like the Garden Theater on Woodward.
Oh, really?
It's in
Okay.
Midtown. Outside of Detroit, there's in Rochester is the Roxy.
Oh, right.
And that is, the sound in there is state of the art.
Really?
It's
Okay.
gorgeous. And, you know,
I've heard good things
when you're
about it, too.
performing there
Yeah.
with a captive audience, it's a big room, but you can hear a pin drop.
Wow.
The sound is just so perfect in there. And I've got a Christmas show coming up there in December on the 14th.
Oh, that's coming up quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then one more spot is Know Me in Northville.
Yeah, I played there. Yeah.
Have you played there?
That's a
Okay.
cool room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the speakeasy,
Yeah.
throwback kind of vibe. It really fits my,
Yeah.
my
absolutely.
thing, my brand.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what was the? We'll talk more about that because and let everybody know where you're coming up. Your show's coming up. What was the first song? Here I'm dating myself too. Album, CD, cassette you ever bought or received that had a deciding effect? Which you probably already mentioned here, but let's
Yeah.
go back to that again.
Well, let me really date you.
Okay.
Or date myself.
Okay.
Although it was in past tense, I remember when I was a kid, probably somewhere between 5 and 9 years old.
Okay.
I had an old 8-track player in my room for some reason, and I didn't know what an 8-track was. At that time, it was
Yeah.
cassettes.
Yeah.
And so it was the song. There was just one 8-track that I had, and I played it over and over again. I think it's late 50s. It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. Do you know who that is?
Leslie Gore.
Yeah, Leslie Gore.
Yeah.
But that was like the first piece of music that I owned.
Wow.
That I could call mine. But I think the first album that I bought was probably Boyz II Men.
Okay.
Truly High Harmony.
Okay.
And I was obsessed with the vocal layering of their
yeah.
harmonies. Were just so
Beautiful.
and
Yeah.
just
That's a good choice.
it just drew me in. And,
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good way to learn harmony too. Listening to those
Oh, yeah.
guys. Well, little trivia here. Did you know who produced "It's My Party"?
No.
by Leslie Gore?
No.
Sorry, I'm going to tell you.
Please.
It was Quincy Jones.
Oh, really?
Yep, yep.
Oh, he's been all over the place, hasn't
Yeah, he produced her, and of course Frank Sinatra, and you know, all those people. But I just throw that in there. Let's see, what else? Oh, I know. Any shows or people along the way that stand out in your memory that over the years?
Shows that I've done?
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe somebody that spoke to you, or people that you've met.
Yeah, I mean, I did open for Robin Thicke when it came to Roanoke Music Theater.
Really?
I think that was in 2012.
Yeah.
That was a cool thing because you know it
Yeah.
was a packed house. It's big venue, and I met him just for a moment, but
Yeah.
it was a cool thing. The only thing that I like kicked myself in was because I was just kind of starting out, and my just sound wasn't just quite there yet, you know. So I'm like, I wish I had like just a little bit more developed my sound a little bit more at the time. But you know,
I'm sure.
hindsight is always 20/20.
I'm sure it was great.
But there are a few performances that I'll never forget, and one was I was hired for a performance in Graz, Austria.
Really?
And it was like my first time doing a show outside of, home.
Oh, sure.
And I remember walking in to the rehearsal, and they were already performing one of my original songs.
Wow.
And it was just surreal to walk in, this band, because I wasn't able to have my band from home,
Sure.
because they didn't have the budget for that.
Right.
So we hired a local band
Okay.
in the area, and
Yeah.
they were all great musicians, but they were like studying my music, and it was just so interesting to walk in on this whole big band playing my music that I wrote.
Really? So you had it all notated
Yeah.
for a situation like that.
Yep.
Oh, I bet that was
Yeah,
great.
that was really
Yeah.
awesome. And then I also have performed in Paris, France, at the Zenith, which is a very big venue with a big production with a bunch of dancers and
Zenith.
everything. Yeah,
Where's that at?
it's in Paris.
Oh, in Paris. Okay, I thought I was going to Detroit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would be
Yeah,
awesome.
and
yeah.
there are performers that performed at the Paradis Latin, which is like a Moulin Rouge.
Oh, okay.
It's like a modern version of Moulin Rouge.
Wow.
So those are some awesome experiences.
That is. Would you say that you are self-taught, or did you take vocal lessons at all?
I would say mostly self-taught. I think any vocal lessons I've had were just me doing vocal warm-ups or looking
sure.
at stuff at like YouTube and
Sure.
that kind of stuff. Like big-time vocal coaches like Stevie Mackey. You know who he is? He's like
No.
he's a big vocal coach for the stars, and he has like some videos out there of some things that he's done that helps you. There's also Cheryl Porter, who's a big
Okay.
TikTok person. She's in a musical now, but she's got
Right.
her own little CD of vocal warm-ups and stuff that she does, and it's like really fun. And
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well, there is an amazing amount of information you could find
yeah.
nowadays to get the technique part down.
yeah.
And but a lot of people, you got to have that passion too.
Oh yeah.
So a lot
you
of
do.
people just do that and like, oh, that's a lot of work, and without that passion,
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Put it together, So are there any? You mentioned some of the shows coming up. Let's get back to that.
Yeah.
The ones that you have coming up fairly soon.
December is jam-packed,
Oh, I bet.
which is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
All the information can be found on my website, bensharkey.com.
Okay.
There's a lot in
Right.
December.
Well, good for you. That's great. You
Yeah.
know. So once again, bensharkey.com.
bensharkey.com.
Right.
SHARKEY.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I get the feeling, as busy as you are, you stay more busy in the city of Detroit as opposed to suburbs, or? You think there's more of a scene down
yeah,
there?
there is definitely a scene
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah, okay.
And I live in Detroit, and I'm lucky that my commute is only like 10 to 15 minutes.
All right, you can't beat that, right?
You know, which is great. But then I also, I do stuff in Rochester. I know the 5th, I'm at the Kringle, Christmas Kringle thing in Rochester.
Oh, you got a lot of
December 5th.
the Christmas on the street sort of
Yeah,
celebrations.
it's going to be really
That's
cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm back in Rochester on the 14th of December for my own holiday show at the Roxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in Northville on the 19th, I'm there at Nomi.
Yeah.
So
Great.
so basically every week I'm doing something.
Busy
So,
guy. Busy
yeah,
guy.
check your calendars.
That's right. So you put out your own music, and it's up on the platforms and all that. Given the current state of the industry, the old school, the record label and all that, and now you put your stuff up online. What's your view on the current state of an artist putting their own music out? I know that's a complicated one, isn't it? But
it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, how do I answer this without
Right. Or just ideas, like if you could invent another method of listening to music, maybe.
Well, I do know that
Yeah.
I will not release another CD because
Okay.
nobody has CD players anymore.
I'm with
But
you on that.
I have 2 vinyl record players in my house, and a lot
Okay.
of people that I know have vinyl record players.
Yeah.
So it's and it is fitting with the music that I do to
Right.
have it on vinyl. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's causes people to slow down and listen and everything. So that I do know that I'll be releasing on vinyl, and
good.
I think my game plan may be to release on vinyl first for a certain amount of months.
Okay.
And not anywhere else, and then release. I'll do my shows and touring and get that music out there, and then
Okay.
I'll release online afterwards.
Oh, all right.
Because I've seen some other artists do that, and I thought, that's kind of a good idea. But I think putting out albums is still good, even though it's kind of tough to get the return in streaming.
Right. Do you think is it the cost effective? You think is it an inexpensive way to put out music, or I think it costs a little bit more than the CD did, didn't it?
Yeah, the vinyl is more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but everyone
worth it.
has different ways of recording. You
Yeah.
you can spend a bunch of money at a studio with an expensive producer and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And you just got to weigh out what your return is possibly going to be if you do that. I don't have a recording studio in my home or anything like some other people do.
Right.
So I'm not really sure when I come to record this album, what my game plan is going to be with that.
Yeah.
But I feel that it's a good investment because it gets my name out there with
Yeah.
the promotions and that kind of stuff. So I see the return in the shows that I end up doing.
Great. Great.
So
Vinyl is still, there's still nothing like vinyl.
Yeah.
I mean, you can actually see the credits on there and have more of a musical experience. I agree.
people like the tangible
Absolutely.
thing too.
I hope it really comes back to that 100%. Well, hey, thanks again for joining. One more time on where people can find your music and your website and everything. Repeat again.
BenSharkey.com.
Yep.
That's where you can find my music and even my art and
Yeah.
the shows. And if you are interested, please sign up for the newsletter, because I do a monthly
Okay.
newsletter, and I email that out, because I think email is sometimes a little bit more efficient than
Yeah.
posting on Instagram or Facebook sometimes.
Right.
So
I do.
anyway.
I do both. You have to do it all, folks.
Yeah.
Keep it all happening. Okay, well, Thanks everybody for joining. This is Ben Sharkey, and once again, thanks Ben
Thank you so much,
for
Kat.
joining today.
Appreciate you.
All right, we'll see you all next time on
Bye.
Chopz, everybody. Bye.